Hey guys, it's Marta, welcome. Today we wanted to make a video for all of you who are searching for inspirations for your entryway for the fall, maybe for your terrace. I wanted to share how I'm doing mine and maybe you'll find something you like. Let's begin. I start decorating whenever I will feel the itch for it. So that usually comes at the end of summer when it's cold or somewhere in September. It really depends and it really depends on the weather. When the a bit colder days come, I will start feeling the itch to eat more oatmeal, more soups, and maybe more drink more tea, and then I will get the itch to do the fall decorations. So this year I was wondering, some of the plants were still looking beautiful. I did not want to take them out, but my supertunias and some of the other plants were not looking that great. So I decided to remove only few of them, and I thought maybe I will do a September decoration and then I will change a bit of the plants that were here in the summer, and in October I will do something more orangey, and in the earlier part of the season now we'll go with burgundy and with pink, and we'll see how that goes. So the main stars of the show that I'm planning will be heather and the pink bell heather. The heathers are the plants that really love ericaceous soil. It really needs to be ericaceous, and in my garden I prefer to have them for the fall in the pots, and I don't have them in my borders because it's very hard for me to keep this kind of ericaceous soil. So for me they are rather treated like annuals, but of course you can have them in the garden, especially if you have ericaceous soil. This is a beautiful plant for the front of your border. And this one is pink bell heather. This is a heather that I think it comes from Africa. It is a plant that will thrive in zones 8, 9. For us, the winters are a bit too harsh for this plant to overwinter, so it's hard. We also treat them in Poland as the annuals, but I love them. They are so full, the flowers are beautiful, and you can have them, of course, in different colors. But the pinks and the strong pinks are always my favorites, so these will be the stars of the show. So I love working with colors, and with pinks and deep pinks I really love burgundy. I tried that a few years ago, and I think it was one of my favorite combinations with plants, because when you look at those burgundy flowers, this is Sedum, and the Sedum is called Purple Emperor. I think it works so well with the pinks, and I was really surprised because I also added orange pumpkins to that combination in the fall, and it really worked. I was really surprised because I was not expecting this combination to work. So hopefully this year I will be transforming this later into the more oranges, and it will work. So this is a Sedum. If you watched last year's video, I was using Sedum Matrona in these compositions. It worked really well, but this year I wanted something shorter, and this Purple Emperor Sedum really spoke to me when I went to the gardening center. Whenever I go to this kind of space, to the gardening center, I usually choose a plant that speaks to me, to my concept of what I want, and then I walk with my cart and I try different plants, if they work together with this color. Sometimes we have an idea, but for me at least it is like that when I pair the plants and I put them one side by side, it just really tells me if this works. So this other plant is called Heuchera, but the variety is called World Café Frappé. It is very burgundy on the lower part of the leaves, but here you can see some hints of gray and maybe even black, and it really spoke to me. And I think with the pinks of the heathers and the pink bell heathers, it will work perfectly. I also have this vertigo grass that I planted in the summer with my supertunias, and I really think it will work as the tall element. I also grabbed this plant. It's called Opiopogon Plantiscarpus niger. I really love the leaves of this plant, and I think when you look at those leaves that are, what can we say, they are a bit burgundy, a bit brown, with a bit of black. It always adds depth to the composition, so I really like working with plants like that. And I'm pairing it with all of the pinks, but if you think about this color, it will also look great as like the background for plants that are yellow, maybe purple, maybe red, or deep burgundy. Try it. As you can see in this picture, a lot of plants are still thriving, and I did not have it in me to remove them because they looked really healthy. I only removed my Supertunia and some fillers because they were not looking that great, and I thought for the time being it will be nice to change something. And I was really thinking about mums for that planter, but the Verbena Vanessa is looking so good that I was like, I cannot take her out now. We'll work with her, and then it's a lot of pink, and then we'll change in October. Verbena Vanessa, it's called Bicolor Rose, I believe, is one of the best plants, the annuals of this year. It is so healthy. I planted it in May, and you've probably seen it in a video when I did that, and it's been blooming continuously through the season. I did not have a problem with any health issues with this plant. It was very heat tolerant and didn't need too much water like Supertunias do, so it was very nice to work with it. The only thing I had to do was a bit of deadheading when the flowers were spent, and that was all. I was fertilizing every 2 to 3 weeks, and it seemed really happy. So next year you will definitely see more of this plant in other parts of my garden. Another plant I wanted to talk about, and I really love, is this one. It's Sedum Lemon Ball, but if you live in the States, you might know it as Lemon Coral Sedum. If you live in European Union, you will definitely find it easier if you're looking for Sedum Lemon Ball. This is a plant that might survive in some of the places, like let's say zone 8, definitely it will survive. In 7 it might or it might not. If you live in zone 6, it will definitely not overwinter in your country. But if you've seen the summer compositions video, you've seen how tiny the plants were when I was putting them here. There were only 3 tiny plugs, and they grew incredibly fast. The plant did not need too much water. It really thrives in different conditions, so you can put it in full sun, in semi-shade, and it really looks beautiful. I really love how it feels when you touch it, and it's a great plant that works as a statement. It can be just one, it can be a part of the composition, but I will be trying it in the borders. I have some drier spots that I really need some color in, and I think the lime will really pop this border and the other colors around it. So next year I will have more of them. I've had them in small pots, in big pots. They were definitely happier in bigger pots when they had a lot of nutrients, a lot of soil. They grew faster, they were bigger. But even in here I have 2 same pots, but I used different types of soil. One is less rich and the other is richer, and you can see how different that plants are, because one is smaller, more dense, and the other one is like falling from the pot. So that was really an interesting experience this year. I was really searching for this plant for a few years, and I'm really happy with the results. This is everything I expected from this. So my work today will be really brief because I will be only putting plants in this pot. But here you can see the vertigo grass. This is the annual for us, and I will just clean some of the leaves that are not looking that well. It will be a nice focus piece because it's tall, and then we'll have all of those beautiful colors in the lower part of the pot, so I think it will look great. Okay, now I just need to grab some soil. With headers, of course, if you want to be perfect, it's better to buy ericaceous soil and use it, especially if you want to overwinter your plants, put them in your garden. But for me, sometimes like good quality soil that holds on to moisture well is enough if I'm treating them as annuals. But if we want to be perfect, use ericaceous soil for your headers. Whenever I'm starting with any composition, I always try to do the dry mockups, as I would call it. So you put your plants in the pots and you try if this idea that you had worked. Sometimes when you look at the plants standing on the ground, everything looks fine, but then you have a pot and something might be off in the composition and you just need to tweak it. It's I think it's the best way not to be like so like this is my idea, I need to have it worked. Sometimes it just doesn't. So you have to be very open to what can happen, and this is what I do. I do the dry mock-up, so I put all of the plants in the pots and I see if it works. Today my kukara just did not work in this composition. Something what was off, there was too much black because the pot is very big and black, and I was like, no, I just need a lot of color because I have a black pot, I have this nice focal thing that is also very dark, so I just need more pink. So I decided to go only with heathers and pink pale heathers and one sedum in the middle. Okay, now it's time to clean up the mess, but after you've planted your plants, remember to water them thoroughly. Remember that so that your pot has a drainage hole. We cannot put plants in pots that do not have drainage, so like a hole that the water can escape. All of the heathers I planted today really need constant moisture, but they don't like to be overwatered and they don't like to be dry. So they like the sweet spot. So it's important to come every few days, depending on the weather. If it's hot, of course, you need to come much more often. If it's colder and it's wet outside, it will not be as often. But remember not to let them dry out completely because they will just look more and more sad, and this is not what we want. We want this composition to look really good. They will thrive in the sunny position and they will thrive also in semi-shade outside. I hope this short video gave you some inspiration for your decorations for this fall. Let me know if those colors speak to you, or maybe you have a completely different idea of what you want at your entryway or maybe at your terrace or any kind of pots you are decorating. Let me know in the comments what colors speak to you. I think there are no wrong colors. It's always just what we love, what speaks to us, and it's always fine. It really, I always say that it really needs to resonate with you, and if you feel happy with those colors, this is a way to go. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.